Behavior modification has been used for the past 3 years here at the City of St. Jude at the Exceptional Children's Center. And through that program, progress has been made that was never made before.
We've been able to take some children who have spent a good deal of their time in cribs and beds and teach them some specific skills that possibly they wouldn't have learned. Some children are learning how to walk, others to speak, and we even have a few brave people here who are attempting toilet training projects as well.
So these are severely handicapped children?
Yes, they are. They are considered profoundly retarded in most cases.
What type of program do you have?
Well, here at the center we have a 3-tiered program that we work with. We start off with a pre-self-maintenance program, which is to take a child and, if he's bedridden, see what bits of behavior we can establish. Leg movement, arm movement, just maybe rolling of the head so the child can reposition himself. Once the child has successfully completed some of these tasks, we try to get him into our self-maintenance program. This consists of walking, feeding, and some toileting skills as well. Then, if the child is successful there, or meets the requirements for our academic program, which is our 3rd layer, we try to get the child to possibly speak, recognize alphabetical letters, simple number concepts, things like this. Just depends on where the child is at the time.
With your pre-self-maintenance, can you give me an example of one of the children and the sort of success, what they've been able to attain?
Well, we had taken a few children who have spent most of their life in bed. One young boy we worked with about 6 months ago who really did not move. He just, in a sense, laid in one position most of the time during the day. By establishing a screen on his bed so we could take specific measurements, we were able to teach him to move his leg, to kick his leg, a point at which he could actually thrust a hand or a leg out about 7 inches. Also, we taught him how to roll his head as well, and hopefully we can teach him to turn over, actually, in the crib.
I understand that you have a blind child that you've been able to teach rather successfully.
We have a blind student, multiply handicapped, who is in our academic program, one of the original people in this project. We have taught him Braille. He now knows most of the alphabet and is learning simple words, such as his name and other little objects around the dorm. We first started, it was very complex. In the beginning, we actually had to teach him same and different. He would hold a little square and then a marble, and he would have to tell us that they were either the same or they were different. 2 squares, then a square and a marble, and he would say this is different. Then we taught him to identify the square and the circle, and finally we taught him to rub his hand over a board and say if there was 1 marble or 2 that were embedded in the board. As he finally was able to make this discrimination, we then made the marbles smaller and smaller and smaller, and soon they became the size of jumbo Braille. We have a child who did not walk. He was in our self-maintenance program.
And this film that we were talking about, what does this show him doing?
Well, this film shows him at the beginning of his walking project. He first had to stand between 2 tables, and all it was required of him was to turn around and put his hands on one table, and then just turn around to a table behind him and hold on to that table. All the standing and walking at that time was definitely dependent. Then we would provide a little bit of candy or a bit of reinforcement for him to make these turns, and as he got proficient in the turning, we separated the tables on him. And soon he had to walk further and further, he had to reach further and further, and eventually walking occurred at that point, at about 36 inches of distance. Now, you probably couldn't tell him from any other child if you saw him running or playing upstairs. So he does quite well now.
I understand that you bring your students out, but there actually is a program for your students here. How do they help, and what's their reaction to it?
Well, we have a program of behavior modification courses at Auburn University at Montgomery. And the City of St. Jude, the center here, acts as a practicum location for our students. They have lecture at at the campus, and then they come out here and apply the principles that they've learned in class.
What's their reaction to it? How do they feel about it when they've been out helping these kids? Do they feel like they're really gaining something for themselves and the help that they're giving, and also the success for the child?
Very much so. The students become quite attached to the children up here in the ward. As a matter of fact, many of them continue volunteering after the course is over to work with their children. They become quite attached. They're quite interested in their progress. As a matter of fact, we do have an action volunteer program which uses this site as well, and many of the students continue on volunteering through this program to be with their child that they started with, and of course to help and assist other children as well.
Many of the children, in fact, the majority of those that we receive here for care are, for the most part, bedridden when they get here. They're unable to sit, they're unable to walk, they're unable to communicate, and in fact, they have no basic skills whatsoever. And I believe that with the institution of the program, there has been a marked degree of success.
Work with severely retarded children takes long, patient hours. But without this work, the children that you've seen walking around, pushing themselves in wheelchairs, will be living in a silent, bedridden world all of their lives. This is Ivy Berman reporting for Composite.